Welcome, folks. This is Ken Simpson with the La Bellona Valley Bromeliad Society here at Rainforest Flora, Inc. And owner of Rainforest. Hi, Paul. How you doing?
Fine, Ken. Welcome to Rainforest Flora.
Thank you.
And come on in. We'll show you the operation.
Okay. Now,
So hello, everyone. This is Paul Isley from Rainforest Flora. We're here at our Torrance location. We have 3, and 2 in North County, San Diego. This is our retail operation. We've been here for 20 years. There's nowhere like it. We're going to have fun. We'll take you around and show you what we do. We grow a lot of the tillandsias. We have houseplants. We have bromeliads. And with the COVID thing, there's been a lot of interest in all the different kinds of plants that we have. Now we're going to go for a walk down the aisle here, and you're going to see this amazing fountain. Come on down. Here we have turtles, we have koi. This cedar stump from the state of Washington. You can see this is the root crown, this is the trunk. And it's about, I don't know, 14 feet wide and 10 feet tall. We'll keep going. All these clumps you see hanging up above all started from one plant many years ago. We have a lot of these rock formations, and many of the tillandsias have been on here for 20 years. For instance, the Cineramorpha, and you can see the roots. And these are all from the original plant that we glued on there 20 years ago. And we just watered in here, so everything's a little bit greener than it would normally be. So over here, come on down. This is a great clump of Tillandsia funkiana that started 54 years ago from one plant. 54. We've had it 14 years. Herb Hill had it in Florida for 20 years. And Ralph Davis had it from him for 20 years before that. Started from one plant. So this is one side of our retail area. There's one more really cool plant I want to show you. It's a group. Come on down. These are a lot of the different tillandsias that we sell.
Tillandsia intermedia.
Yes, very good. An amazing clump of Tillandsia intermedia. Started from just one plant 30, 40 years ago. Back when I was a little kid. Right. And now we're going to go show you our production area. And where's Jerry?
Yeah, where is Jerry?
Jerry's coming.
Okay. Where does this waterfall go down into? Beautiful pond with koi and other fish. Let's take a walk around the corner here, see what's going on. Hey, Paul, how old is this clump of Dorati I hear?
Again, we've been growing that for, I don't know, 25 years maybe.
Beautiful, beautiful. Here's a view from the other side of the waterfall and the pond with the koi. And look over here, there are so many turtles sunbathing. Let's take a walk down a little further, see what you got going here. So here we are on the outside of Rainforest, looking at some of their greenhouses. And here's Paul Isley.
Here we are again, everybody. So we're looking towards the back of the nursery here. It's a little over 5 acres. We moved here 21 years ago. And come on down, I'll show you the production area. Can on the other house right next to us here.
Well, here we are. We've been looking for Jerry Robinson, and Paul wants to show us one of his beautiful cycads.
Yeah, this is a Diane spinulosum from Mexico. Beautiful cone, nail plant, very, very heavy. Probably weighs over 20 pounds.
Yeah.
And we'll continue our walk. I don't know where Jerry is, but we'll keep looking.
All right, we'll look for him.
Oh.
Well, there he is. Hey,
What do you
Jerry.
know?
Hi.
Speaking of that, hey Ken.
How you doing?
Good, how you doing today?
I'm doing great. So Paul's been nice enough to walk us around and give a tour.
You got the whole tour?
Got the whole tour.
Now,
but,
it was only Tillandsias, or did he show you the rest of the nursery?
well, speaking of Tillandsias, like, what's your favorite bromeliads?
Well, I mean, I like Tillandsias, but, you know, Paul's kind of the Mr. Tillandsia in the world, and he kind of overshadows anybody else as far as Tillandsias goes. So, I mean, I like Tillandsias, but I really like Neurogelias. They grow a lot faster. I can use them in the landscape. I really like the Breeches, especially the foliage Breeches that have the really interesting leaves and colors. I love those. Bilbergias are good. They grow fast, and they're good in the landscape. You know, I talk about landscape a lot. You know, you can use Tillandsias in the landscape, but they're more accent plants. What I try and do is use my Bromeliads and my favorite Bromeliads kind of in different areas of my landscape with palms and with cycads and plumerias and volcarnias. You know, I could go on and on. It's just kind of hard to express what I really, my passion is. And, you know, maybe can you get over to the house? Maybe we should take you to the house and I can show you what I really love. And, you know, my feeling is I want to walk out onto my deck and feel like I'm in Costa Rica or Hawaii or in some place where these plants can grow naturally. So if it's not too much to ask, I'd love to show you the yard.
No, it's not at all too much to ask. In fact, why don't we go over there now and see what you have going? And I'm just so excited to bring all of our members and visitors to our Zoom session to see your backyard.
Okay, everybody's welcome. no ID necessary. We'll let anybody in, and I'm vaccinated. Hopefully they're all vaccinated too.
All right, well, I'll be over there and I won't wear my mask either.
Okay, perfect.
See you soon.
All right, thank you.
You're welcome.
Welcome, Ken, to my backyard.
Wow, thank you. I've been here before, but it's grown even more. It's beautiful.
This is my best shot. Gives you an idea of what I'm looking for. It's the overall effect when you walk out from the house on the deck, and then you can see the waterfall and all the plants. And you know, I kind of want to get that feeling you're in Costa Rica or Hawaii or someplace like that. That's kind of my main intent here. So I'm glad you saw it this way.
Yeah, I think you have it embodied just beautiful. But as I look around, I see a lot of platyceriums and ferns and cycads. Do you even have any bromeliads here?
Well, I do, and they're more accent plants. They're hidden. We'll see them closer up as we look closer into the garden. But you got to realize that most bromeliads, and 99% want some shade. So when we start out, we got to make sure we have some kind of shade. And so what I do first is I plant the palms and the trees going. And this was, we've been here 30 years. And of course, at first I have two daughters. And when they were young, we had swing sets and playhouses, and we had a jacuzzi and a hot tub for them to play in and entertain in, and cement to skate on and do all that with, tetherball court. And as they grew up and got a little bit older, we eliminated a lot of that. I planted that tababuya tree when it was a seedling from the nursery, and that's kind of over the waterfall now. Yeah. That was there before the waterfall, and it got trained to kind of cover over the waterfall, add some shade. I've added some palms since then, you know, and it's what Confucius said: the best time to plant a tree was 50 years ago. The second best time is today. And you just got to do it. You got to get some shade in there, you know. And that's one of the things I would like to tell people. They always ask, what can take full sun? Well, you know, it stresses the plants out. You know, there's some palms that love full sun, but the bromeliads in general don't want to have full sun.
So Jerry, tell us a little bit about your platyceriums over here.
Well, you know, that was one of my favorite plants in the beginning. It was first Palanzias, and now it's, you know, it's everything, you know, but the staghorns, I've been growing it for like 25, 30 years. You can see the superbum I have is looking pretty good right now. And
Wow, look at that big platycerium superbum. That's a beauty.
yeah, you picked out my favorite one there. I mean, there's a lot of other ones there. Mostly they're cultivars of bifurcatum. There's Panama, and there's Wallachii, there's Celebes, there's Lemoyne, there's African Oddity, there's, you know, corn spore. You know, there's a lot. I don't have a lot of species. The species are a little bit harder to come by, a little bit harder to grow. But I have maybe 3 or 4 species right there. The rest are cultivars.
Well, they're doing really well.
Yeah, you know, they have a shade over them. You know, the staghorn is the best plants to grow in the shade. You know, they're easy, and you water them once or twice a week, and they're happy. You know, and most people have a problem with them getting too big, and they bring them to the nursery to have us separate them and replaque them once they get too big.
Like I do. You know, in addition to your platyceriums, you have some really nice, big, well-grown Tillandsias. Can you tell us about those?
Well, it just so happens those are my favorite. I think all my favorites are right there. I tend to like the grayer, greener, hardier ones because they're a lot easier to grow. A lot of them have fragrant flowers. As you can see, that giant Doradii, that's my #1 favorite Tillandsia, and I even have that one on my business card. And then you can see there's that Edithite clump. Scott Sykes of Torrance started that, and then I've kind of grown that on a little bit. But
Scott Sykes is the one that really got that thing going.
How
And
long have you had it for?
it's probably about 25 years old from a small clump. You know, I have that, then I have some Tectorum over there, and then you see those two Stromaneas hanging on the corner there. Below, other Duratiis. And then against the wall, I have some Latifolia divaricata, and then the winter circle, which is a Iranthos by Harvey Stricta. So, you know, I'm trying a little design, artwork, things that just, you know, we have cholla at the nursery, and I bring some home, have some pots, put them on the wall, and just see kind of what sticks and what makes it.
So Jerry, tell us about your hardscape and landscape and how you put this all together.
Well, once you get the palms in, then you start putting in some rocks, and these are all natural rocks. These were all forklifted in and placed, and you have the waterfall in the back, a little bit of a stream, about 12 or 15 feet of stream into the koi pond, with our stone bridge, which is an element I like a lot. But it's a key element, I think, for the yard, especially with the sound. It has that soothing sound, and it's quite relaxing to sit there and listen to the water. You see the koi, there's about, I don't know, 15. There was 20 koi, but I think the heron and the raccoons kind of, over the years, have feasted on those, and generally they take the ones that are the prettiest or the best colors, the ones that they take. Now there's 4 turtles, and it's interesting that these guys are been in here for years. They stay here. There's at least one female, and we'll catch her walking around the yard and looking at a place to lay her eggs. And we've actually had 3 or 4 baby turtles we've found walking in the yard that we've grown, protected. They're too small to survive in the pond. They'll get caught in the filters, but we'll put them in a tank and feed them until they get big enough to go in the pond at Rainforest. Go ahead. So Ken, this is one of my favorite plants in the landscape. It's a bird of paradise, but it doesn't have the leaf. It only has the tubular leaves. The bloom is exactly the same as the other Strelitzia reginas. It's just this is Juncea, and it's got the really skinny leaves. It's a great plant. Now, this is a tapioca plant, and I have several tapiocas because they provide a lot of shade quickly. This is probably 2 years old from a seed. Volunteer. You look around the garden, you'll see these tapiocas volunteering quite a bit. Like all these were volunteers, and I just let them grow completely up, and they add some shade in the summer.
Yeah.
So it's good, and they go deciduous in the winter. Over here we have Encephalitis trispinosus, one of the lure of the cycads.
Yeah, I notice your pups are blue.
You know, I think that's a good question. Why? This is a lot of shade. It probably would like a little bit more light, but it does do really well here. This is north facing, so in the summer we'll get more light, but in the winter it doesn't get any direct sun.
That caudex is maybe 2 feet wide. It's a real thick, mature caudex.
Yeah. We've taken quite a few pups off of it. I think you even have one of them at your house.
I do.
Yeah, I do. And then over here we have a Cycas rumphii. That one will get a pretty good trunk, whereas the trispinosus is very low growing. Even though it's been there for 25 years, it doesn't have much trunk. Whereas the rumphii has been there probably 20 years and starting to get a little bit of a trunk now.
Yeah.
As we
Hold on.
So, wanted to ask you a question so the people that are watching this will understand the climate that you have.
we're in the coastal zone. We're about 2.5 miles from the ocean here. We're kind of cutting the hillside a little bit, so we're a little bit protected. Probably don't get temperatures too much below the low 40s. And some things, I haven't, not 100% successful. There's, being in the business, I can afford to do some experimentation with things that don't make it. Then they get out of the garden, and we put something else and try it. But you can see here we have, that's Cephalotus princeps. Then we have the king palm over up here. You know, that's a fairly recent addition within the last 5 years. You know, some of my favorite neos, I'm trying to get a little ground cover here with the dongers. And one of the more recent introductions is the heat wave. It's the Carolina by Fluminescence neo, and it kind of spreads out slowly. It can take a lot of light, and it does well. You can see I have a cardboard palm here, Xenia perforacea, and then you have a Dioon Edgula type over here that's got a pretty good trunk on it. And then I use the neos to go down below just to take advantage of the shade and to add a little accent to the planting.
I like the way you use the purple rocks and then you have the ground cover different to fill in between. It's beautiful.
Yeah, I'm trying to make it easier to keep control of the weeds. You can see there's some oxalis growing that unfortunately my grandkids aren't quite old enough to give them $1 an hour to pick weeds. You know,
I saw him climbing trees before I got here.
Henry would rather climb trees than pick weeds. Well, Jerry, thank you so much for having us come over and sharing your beautiful, lush, verdant garden with us. And I tell you, I get that feeling like I'm in the tropics or Hawaii or someplace that you said you wanted to remind Costa you Rica, of. you know?
Or Costa Rica.
Yeah.
Yeah. In fact,
Wait, you know,
just wanted to give you a Chester scope.
speaking of Costa Rica,
Uh-huh.
which one is this?
This is Chester's Neoregelia Invincible.
Wow.
One of my favorites in my collection, and I thought that I didn't see it over at Rainforest, so I thought I'd give you one.
Scotec hybrids are hard to get a hold of, though I did pick up this Harpo, Neoregelia Harpo from Live Art in Gardena. Larry and Natalia tabling. There's a few plants in my garden I've got from them. And they do a good job growing bromeliads in the South Bay also. They're very active and supportive of the club too.
Yeah, your company and their company, Live Art, are both really helpful for all of us bromeliad enthusiasts here.
Or addicts.
Addicts, fair enough.
You know, and what's it? You can't share this with other people. You know, the pleasure that these plants, and you see that, you know, I'm in the bromeliad business and we do mostly tillandsias, but you know, it's all plants. You know, there's some rare plants here. There's some really rare plants here, but it's not about that. You can duplicate this with Cantia palms and king palms and Volcarnias and plumerias, and then you put your accents, your bromeliads, your tillandsias, your orchids, your succulents. My wife is an ER, was a director of ER at LA hospitals, and after a stressful day, she'll come home and pick weeds, and it's more her garden, I think, than my garden. You know, it's our garden because we both put a lot of effort into it. But it's just the fact of being immersed in these plants and just the feeling it gives you to make you feel that, you know, you're where they grow naturally, and you get that benefit. You know, it's why we do it. It's why I do it. I don't want to have one of everything. You know, I have that at the nursery. This is where I want to, where people, when they come and they can enjoy it, we can share it, and if they want, I can help them duplicate it in their yard.
Yeah. Well, what adds to the uniqueness of your garden is the age of the plants that you've been growing these for 30 years here. For example, that tall palm over there, which has a trunk with probably a
4-foot diameter.
yeah, at least.
It's Parajubea torialii, and I got it in my sedan. You know, when I brought it from the palm enthusiast in Thousand Oaks. I can't remember his name now, but you know, and it was like in a probably 2-gallon bucket, and I brought it and planted it there, and I think the kids skated around it for a few years while it was getting established, and
It's over 30 feet tall.
yeah, and
from here.
the good thing about it doesn't take up a big footprint. You know, it's not wasting space, but also if you took some stills, maybe they could see of the Neoregelia ampullacea by Flora that's growing down. That's really cool. I have a platycerium, a staghorn that's growing on the side too, so you can take those standard plants and then add the accents to it and make it.
I'll take some still pictures and give them to our videographer, Barry Landau,
put 'em in
over
there.
there.
Yeah.
And thanks, Barry, for taking your time and effort to do this also.
No problem. And Jerry, just so people know, what are the hours over at Rainforest Flora?
We're there 9 to 5 Monday through Friday, 9:30 to 5 on Saturday, and 11 to 4 on Sunday.
Well, thanks,
Closed
Jerry.
Major holidays.
Thank you, Jerry.
Okay.
And thanks, Ken.
Thank
You're
you, Barry.
welcome.
Appreciate all you do for the societies.